I didn't notice the missing money all at once. It was the kind of thing that hides in plain sight. Numbers in a shared account we used for household things, insurance payments, repairs, occasional help for our parents. I only looked because I was trying to track a bill. $3,000. Gone. At first it felt like a clerical mistake. I checked the date, the transfer history, the categories. Nothing explained it. No invoice, no note. Just gone. I told myself there had to be a reasonable explanation. Families miscommunicate about money all the time. I closed the laptop and tried to forget it. A few days later we were at our parents' house for dinner. Nothing formal. Just the usual Sunday routine. My mother moving between the stove and the table, my father pretending he didn't need help carrying things even though he clearly did. My brother arrived late, the way he often did lately. Not rushed, not apologetic either. Just casual. He had a small black box in his hand. "Got something for you, Dad." My father looked confused. It wasn't his birthday. It wasn't any holiday I could think of. When the lid opened, the watch caught the light immediately. Silver, heavy-looking, one of those pieces that announces itself even if you know nothing about watches. My father laughed in that embarrassed way he does when someone spends too much on him. "This is too much," he said. My brother shrugged. "Just wanted to do something nice." My mother asked the question people always ask when something looks expensive. "How much was it?" My brother didn't hesitate. "About 3,000. Something inside my chest went very still. 3,000. He said it like it was pocket change, like the number meant nothing. "I've been making some smart investments," he added, leaning back slightly in his chair. "Finally paying off." He even smiled a little when he said it. Everyone seemed impressed. My father kept turning the watch in his hands, admiring the weight of it. I said nothing. But the number didn't leave my mind. The missing money, the watch, the exact same amount. I told myself it could still be coincidence. Maybe he really had made some money. Maybe I was connecting things that weren't connected. But after that dinner I started paying closer attention. My brother had been around more lately, especially when conversations drifted toward our parents' finances. Their house, their retirement accounts. Things that used to make him visibly uncomfortable. Now he spoke about them with surprising confidence. "Stuff like this needs structure," he said one evening. He mentioned trusts, legal protections, efficient planning. Our parents listened. They were getting older, and the language of responsibility sounded reassuring. I mostly stayed quiet. It wasn't that I was afraid to speak, it was something else. I needed to be sure. Weeks passed. Then one evening he brought a folder. Not dramatically. Just set it on the kitchen table while my mother poured coffee. "Nothing urgent," he said. "Just paperwork for the trust structure we talked about." My father adjusted his glasses and started flipping through the pages. My mother looked at the signature lines like they were written in another language. My brother explained things calmly. How this would simplify everything. How it would prevent complications later. How it would make management easier. The conversation felt polite, almost routine. But something about the way he controlled the pace of it bothered me. He was guiding the discussion, answering questions before they were fully asked. Then eventually he said it. "If everything looks fine, Mom can sign here." He turned the document slightly toward her. My mother picked up the pen, but she didn't move right away. And in that moment I realized something simple. If I stayed silent now, this would become permanent. The room was quiet except for the sound of the ceiling fan. I stood up, not dramatically, just enough that my chair scraped softly against the floor. My brother looked at me, slightly annoyed, like I was interrupting something efficient. I kept my voice even. "Before she signs," I said, "maybe you should tell Dad where the money for that watch actually came from." The words hung there longer than I expected. My brother's expression didn't collapse or explode. It just paused, like a sentence he hadn't prepared for. My father looked up from the paperwork. "What do you mean?" I didn't accuse him. I didn't raise my voice. I just said the facts. 3,000 disappeared from the shared account a few days before you gave him that watch. My brother opened his mouth, then closed it again. For the first time since he'd started talking about investments and trusts and responsibility, he didn't seem to have the next sentence ready. My father slowly took off the watch. Not angrily. Just thoughtfully. Is that true? He asked. The authority in the room shifted right there. Quietly, but completely. My brother tried to recover. Something about moving money temporarily, something about replacing it. But the confidence was gone. My father closed the folder. We're not signing anything tonight. My mother set the pen down. No one raised their voice. No one stormed out. The conversation just ended. Later that night, the watch sat on the kitchen counter beside the unopened folder of trust papers. No one mentioned it again before we left. Driving home, I didn't feel victorious. Just relieved. Sometimes stopping something is the closest thing to winning a family ever gets.